What's going on, guys? How you doing? Yesterday's talk was really enjoyable, so it is dark in here again. I need a professional lighting technician. Someone, SBTV. How are you on lighting? You help me with everything else. I have the chat temporarily like it's going, so feel free to engage. I have it closed for myself for a second, just because I know myself and I'll get distracted. So just want to say hello, and then I'll open it up later to a few questions. So yeah, yesterday was super. It was super enjoyable having that discussion. Actually, you know what? I lied. I am gonna. Here we go. Got a couple people in here. Yeah, it was really interesting having that talk. So I thought maybe I'd follow it up by saying a little bit about how I got started in reporting, and then happy to take any questions. And we're going to do this more than once. I also want to thank my moderator, SPTV Tattoo Warrior, who's just been great. We're trying to build this channel up, and this was a talk that she really, it's just like she's been so helpful. So Barb, thank you, and I hope you're enjoying a little time off work as well. Um, so, and I know it's late on the East Coast, so people catch this on the replay crew. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you could tell somebody about the channel, that would also be great. Oh, there she is, SPTV. What's going on? All right, now I'm gonna close the chat for a sec. Me being the distracted type. Good to see you guys. So we're gonna keep doing a lot more of these, obviously, but uh, tomorrow when you catch this, I hope you enjoy it. Okay, enough about that. How did I get started in reporting? Let me give you the short version. The I feel like a politician sometimes, like what I've just. Um, so the short version is that I was working. I was actually hosting. I have like a broadcasting background and acting and some other things. Like a performance background. I think would be true as well. I play guitar and stuff. So the point being, I was working with a really good reporter, and we had our own independent. We had this independent outlet, and I was hosting the podcast, and we are having a lot of fun doing that. And I started to watch what the journalists were doing, and this wasn't that long ago, by the way. This was like, I don't know, it's been 5-6 years, and maybe I did other things that were related, but um, it hasn't been really been that long at all. And so someone one day sent we like the independent outlet I was working at, the Daily Beast, and I think another outlet or two got this hoax sent because people try to hoax reporters, right? Like that happens all the time. And the hoax was a bungling type of hoax. It wasn't a very good hoax. So I thought I don't remember if I'd written anything by then, but I just I think I might have had a few bylines like but I the reason I'm bringing up this story is like I decided I was going to piece together what happened and investigate this journalist hoax. Um, it ended up, so I ended up putting it up on my Twitter account. I didn't have a lot of followers at the time. It went super viral, which had never happened to me either. Mostly because of this one hilariously the worst Photoshop you've ever seen. I promise you it was hilarious, and we'll delve into this again, and I'll show you guys the photo how bad it was. It went viral, and I'd spent a fair amount of time putting this investigation together. So editors, people started reaching out to me. They were like, "Hey, do you want to write for us?" I'd never written. Yeah, I guess at this point I hadn't written any journalism. I'm just, you're like retracing it in your head. Um, so I got started. Uh, the the first piece I pitched, and I'm bringing this up specifically because of feelings I have about how that you guys have heard me talk about how there shouldn't be gatekeeping, and that's why I like to talk about this and tell a little bit about my story, right? Uh, so the first solo byline that I pitched was when I saw that the former White House press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany, her parents had gotten a PPP loan for their roofing company. Um, which I found when the ProPublica put together this website where you could search through all the loans. That's also how I did the reporting on Scientology, the 3 stories that I also broke that they got, at the end. I think it was up to like 100. It was like 100 loans through different entities, and it was up to, I think, 10 million. So the Kelly McEnany story, this is my first byline. So it was a little bit of luck. Uh, it went super viral, and and I got started, and it got picked up everywhere. It was in like newspapers, and so that's what happened. And then from there, it was just, like, what do they say, off to the races. And I just kept pitching, and the pitches kept selling. For the most part, you don't always sell them, and we could SPTV. If you can, make a note, because I'll forget about. We should do a thing just on pitching, because if that's a part of the freelance world. So I think I might remember that one. So that I was going, and I just kept pitching, and I did a lot of stories on the loans. I kept going. My buddy Scott, who we had the independent outlet, and Scott and I collaborated a lot, and we still talk all the time. We put out a lot of stories at Forensic News, which was this awesome. It's kind of on hiatus, but Scott and I, we did some really interesting work there that I'm very proud of, and you could still find it. I think the website's still up, and so I just kept going, and so I believe that anyone can do this job. I mean, do you need to be able to write and have? It's like anything else, but uh, if I could do this with coming into it like this, and now I've written a lot of stories, you can do it. And as you go, you'll expand your you just keep learning, right? That's how you learn. And then you add photography and video and other things, and it's a fun job. It's it's a tough job these days. Media is very much collapsing, and that's very bad. It's very bad for our democratic process. But uh, speaking personally, I discovered that for me, that I'd been a professional writer in entertainment before that, somewhat. So like I had some, I don't know if you call it related experience, but what happened with reporting was a unique combination of uh, anger, just to be honest, real anger at what I was seeing, and uh, the world that, you know, the world that we're all in, and an ability to write. Um, those things, I think, made this job, work for me personally. That's what I'm trying to say. And it might make it work for you too. Let me just check this chat. Hey, Sunday. Um, yeah, it's quiet in here. Maybe people, maybe getting started in journalism is a, either I need to promote it more, or everybody's in bed. Uh, I'm always happy to take any questions about reporting. If there's any budding reporters in here, and I know they've been in here before, you can always also follow up the next day. I try to read the comments. But I'm gonna close this chat for a second. Um, that is basically, though. That's basically how I got started, and it's been, depending on where you look at it. The podcasts that I did had they were news related, but my first solo byline, a professional byline where I was paid, was only, I think, July of 2020. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you can do this if it's something you feel like you want to do. So yeah. Go back to the comments here for a second. Yeah, it's pretty quiet. Uh, yeah, if anyone has questions about that, or even if you just have unrelated questions, we've got or SPTV. You can just type something, because I'll just be chatting otherwise. What else can we talk about reporting? Man, usually we get a much bigger crowd in here. I wonder. I probably should have put this up a little bit earlier. We got people coming in. Hey guys. Um, and if you're just coming in, what we're talking about is how I got started in reporting, and happy to take any questions about that. Um, what else? Or we'll keep this short like last time. That the video yesterday got a lot of views. I think brevity is certainly not a bad thing, and that's something I've learned as I add streaming to something I'm learning about as well. Um, but that's basically how I got started, and that's the beginning of my story. Uh, well, I'll tell you what, it's brevity. There's some saying about brevity. I forget what it is, but I am more than happy to just let that be just a little bit about how I got going. Um, and we can we can cut this one a little shorter. If I guess if I can emphasize one thing, and close the comments for a second. If I can emphasize one thing, is that I've written, I think the point I'm trying to make here is like, if I could do this and be surprise myself at times, then you can do it. And we can talk a lot more about this, but that's like the main thing I want to emphasize. I didn't go to school for this. I just learned it. Great people have been fortunate enough to help me, and yeah, I've been lucky. So that's really what I want to say. And I want to thank you guys for listening. And why don't we pick this up? We'll pick this topic up tomorrow. All right. Be well, guys. Bye.